Muy buenos días para todas las personas que se unen a esta sesión informativa con the University of Nottingham. Mi nombre es Karen Martínez, soy integrante del equipo de Consejería Académica y Relaciones Internacionales de COLFUTURO y el propósito de esta sesión es brindarles a todos ustedes aquellos datos e información fundamental si quizás sus planes de estudio están encaminados en llevar a cabo un posgrado en esta gran institución académica. Queremos contarles que iniciamos este mes de agosto con una gran variedad de webinars informativos para todos, así que si tienen interés en conocer las universidades del Reino Unido e Irlanda con las que Colfuturo tiene convenio, todo este mes estaremos realizando sesiones como la del día de hoy para brindarles la información que necesiten. Bueno, el día de hoy nos acompañan William y Simon. Ellos son representantes de esta institución académica y nos van a brindar información súper importante y fundamental sobre temas como oferta académica, como financiación, becas, procesos de admisión, hospedaje y recomendaciones en general para todos ustedes. En adición, abordaremos también pues todo lo relacionado al convenio que tenemos con Colfuturo y University of Nottingham, que consta de un descuento del 10% sobre el valor de la matrícula para todos los beneficiarios de Colfuturo que estén admitidos en esta universidad. Cabe mencionar que si tienen alguna pregunta o inquietud, pueden escribirla en el cuadro de Q&A y las responderemos a lo largo de esta sesión. Al final, habrá una sección que estará enfocada en responder esas inquietudes a todos ustedes. Así que sin más preámbulos, vamos a dar inicio a este webinar. William, Simon, thank you so much for being here. So you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Super. Thank you very much, Karen. So hello, everyone. My name's Will. I am the International Relations Manager for the Americas here at the University, and I'm joined by Simon. I'll let Simon introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today. My name's Simon. I'm working very closely with Will in the international recruitment team at Nottingham. We're really excited to tell you all about Nottingham today, and we are speaking to you from sunny Nottingham, which is it's this sunny, I promise.
Yes, it's very sunny here at the moment. So I'm going to kind of take you through some kind of information about what it's like to be at the University of Nottingham, what it's like to be in Nottingham as a city in general to study, and hopefully give you some more information about potentially choosing Nottingham as part of maybe your next pot of call for studying as well. So if you do have any questions, please do put them in the Q&A. Simon will also be looking at those as we go through, so you might be able to pick some up as we progress. But yes, I will crack on with the university. So first of all, I wanted to look at why study in the UK. It's obviously kind of a big decision in general. Obviously, it's all about kind of distance and kind of moving to a new country as well. But it's essentially in the UK, we offer sometimes a more specialized and kind of in-depth degree. So our master's degrees tend to be a 1-year course. Our PhD courses tend to be 3, sometimes 4 years long. And it gives you the opportunity to kind of throw yourselves into a new culture, a new environment, a new city, a new country, and then get that kind of life and kind of cultural experience as you go through your study as well as getting a really kind of good, strong degree while studying in the UK as well. And we also have the current joy that we're able to offer post-study work visas as well. So students who often come study with us will have the opportunity to remain and look for work up to 2 years after study or 3 years after PhD study as well. But obviously this is an optional choice. It's not something you have to do, but it's all about getting a high quality degree while studying in the UK. So more about kind of the city and kind of the amenities and the location of where we are, because I think it's really good before we start talking about the university to think about, well, actually, where are we? So in the map of the UK, you can see circled in red there is Nottingham. So we often say that we are in the middle of England. So if we take Scotland off where it says Edinburgh up near the top, we're using the kind of heart of England. But we're in a place that's called the East Midlands. So we're very much kind of centralised, and we're close to quite a lot of international airports. So we have London less than 2 hours by train from Nottingham. We're also very closely linked to Birmingham, Manchester, and other places in the UK. So it's not just about, oh, you're in Nottingham, you can't go explore. We're close enough to be able to go do day trips to different cities to kind of go explore what else the UK has to offer as well as part of it, as part of your time while studying with us. But the city itself is a very vibrant and student-friendly city as well. So there's two universities in Nottingham. There's us and there's Nottingham Trent University. So between us, we have around 60, 70,000 students across Nottingham itself, which is around a quarter of the population of Nottingham is students. And to give you a sense of kind of the international aspect, 25% of our students at the University of Nottingham are international students. So there's a large population of international students within the city, which really kind of makes it a really diverse and kind of friendly and kind of exciting city to be in as part of student life as well. So it's a really good city to be in as a student, because you very much have a voice and opinion as to what happened and helps mold what goes on within the city itself. It's quite a walkable and kind of compact city. So it's not huge like London, where you have to use a tube to get across most of it, and it may take an hour or so to cross from one side to the other. You can walk around it. You can kind of go explore the shops, the restaurants, the nightlife, the museums, the sports centres by just walking around. You can also jump on the tram. So we have a tram system in Nottingham, which is the second picture on this, the bottom picture on this slide. So you can get from the university to the train station or across to kind of maybe other areas of the city that you might want to explore. But because we have quite a high diversity within the city as well in terms of cultures and ethnicities, we have quite a lot of different international cuisines on offer through different kind of restaurants that we may offer, and also international supermarkets. So even though you may be thousands of miles away from home, you still are able to find that little bit of home comfort while studying as well, and being able to explore what else the city has to offer. And to give you a sense of what the city looks like, so this is what we call the Old Market Square. So this is often the centre, the heart of the city itself. And as you can see in this picture, it's set up. It has a beach. It has a beach theme. This is currently being set up, I think, in the city centre right now. It's always really funny. We're thinking about the city centre having a beach put in there, because we are miles and miles away from the sea as it is. But it's nice. It just shows that what the city has to offer and how we adapt and always throw things for students to look at. And in the winter, we will have a Christmas market. It'll be very much kind of winter themed. Last year, we had an ice rink going around this market square. So it's always an adaptable city centre as well. So there's lots that you can kind of do as part of it. And I also wanted to mention other places you might want to explore. So this backs onto, and I will show you roughly where when I show you an overview of the university in a second, this backs onto our University Park campus. So this is Woollerton Hall and Deer Park. So it's a big green expanse with a hall that you can see in the centre of the picture, where students can relax. So during the summer and during this kind of sunshine, we will get students go and have a picnic or just get together and kind of just chill out with their friends on kind of a hot evening or weekend, or when they've got a gap in the day, to just relax. So it's not just about having a city centre in terms of kind of a built-up environment. It's also offering you green spaces to be able to relax and just wind down of an evening or of a weekend as well. So a bit more focusing towards the university in general. So a bit more of a kind of academic and research excellence of what we are. So these are some of our current kind of snippets of how we are as a university. So we're currently ranked as a world 108 university in the QS World Rankings. We're ranked as a UK top 20 in those QS rankings as well. We are a member of the Russell Group University, so kind of a prestigious group of universities which really lead into kind of our level of research and academics that we offer at the university, and it's partly reflected by us being 7th in the UK for research power. So we have a lot of world-leading research going on at the university, which if you are coming on to a postgraduate course, especially a PhD, you can very much be at the heart of and kind of be involved with while you're studying with us as well. And it's not just about the academics to consider when choosing where you might want to go or what you want to study, but it's also what a university can offer in terms of their kind of student environment and kind of campuses as well. So we are quite a global university. So we have around 37,500 students from more than 150 different countries around the world. And approximately around 10,000 of our students are international students. So we very much pride ourselves on being able to be more diverse as a university and being able to offer cultural experiences that you may not get at all universities across the university. And it's also reflected on our alumni community as well. So we have around 300,000 Nottingham graduates spread across the world, which is really good for us when we're able to offer students the ability to network and connect with alumni, with our current students, with alumni who may be working in a field that a student may be wanting to go into. So we have that ability to do that. We are also part of the Universitas 21 and Erasmus Plus scheme. So if possible, as part of your course, we will offer the ability to study abroad as part of your course as well. So have a further element of study abroad through our 75 global teaching partnerships and also some of our exchange programs as well. So it's very much a global feel at the university. But I think it's really good to have a look at what we can offer in terms of our campuses as well, where you might study as part of the university. So University Park campus. This is our main campus. You can see it behind me and Simon on our pictures as well. This is we often say this is our main campus purely because it is our biggest campus and holds the majority of our courses. But it is only one of three campuses in the UK. So it is 300 acres of kind of parklands with gardens and boating lake. But it's very much a calm, green environment to be able to study in as well. So this gives you a different view of the Trent building, which is behind us, just across from the lake. So I was there on Tuesday, and you could see everyone rowing around in their boats. Some going around in circles because they're only rowing on one side. No one had fallen in, which is often what you might see sometimes. But to give you a sense of the size of the campus, this is what it looks like. And if you look towards the top, you will see where I was talking about Woollerton Park, you will see that it stretches just to the top of the campus as well. But it is a big campus. Down at the bottom of the campus, you can see our sports fields. We're very well known for our sports at the university, and you can get involved however you may like, whether it is just for fun, whether it is more competitively while studying with us. No matter what course you are studying, it's open to all students. And I think it's really important probably to talk about what courses are available on this campus. In fact, I'm going to retract that statement. It's easier to talk about what courses are available on the other two campuses than it is on this. So the majority of courses take place on this campus. So what I will do is when we go through the other ones is highlight what's available on those. But what I did want to highlight is, if you can see it, right in the top right hand corner, you will just see a little bit of red appearing. And that's where we're going to go next. That's our Jubilee campus. So this is our second campus that was opened in 1999. And this again is a campus about innovative architecture, kind of eco-friendly buildings, kind of it also has a lake, has a sense of being able to be close to water as part of it. But in terms of what courses are available here, if you were coming for a business course, a computer science course, an education course, you would be based on Jubilee campus. And to give you a sense of what this looks like, so this is our Genogley Learning Resource Centre, often known as the floating library. It's not actually floating, but it is giving that sense that it is. So again, just gives you a sense of the kind of architecture and the feel of the campus as well as looking as an overview to it. So Jubilee campus is about a 10-minute walk away from University Park campus. Dependent upon where on University Park you are currently starting from, it can take a bit longer, but there is a free, what we call hopper bus, that takes you between campuses. So if it is a rainy day, or you just don't feel like walking, you can jump on a hopper bus between the two campuses, and you can get to wherever you need to go. You can go explore one of the other campuses, or you might have a lecture on one campus while you're staying on another campus. So that's our second campus. And then a little bit further out, our newest campus of the three is called Sutton Bonington. So Sutton Bonington campus is a smaller campus. Although it often feels a bit bigger than the other campuses, it is actually smaller. But this is further out from the city centre and from University Park. So it's around 10 miles south so it's of University Park campus, and a little bit further out from the city itself. So Sutton Bonington is home to some of our bioscience courses. So for example, like biotechnology is based out here. It's also home to our veterinary medicine courses and also some of our science courses as well. So for example, nutrition is often based out here as well. But this campus has a very different feel to the other two campuses as well. It's very much in the countryside. It's very much a kind of fresh outdoorsy campus in general. So this is one of the buildings, the bioenergy and brewing science buildings. You will also see as you go around it, the greenhouses where lots of the kind of the plant science takes place, to really get that feel of what it is like to study and be in that environment that you would find with the courses that you're related. But as an overview, this is why I say it has a very different feel, because it is in the countryside. It's a fully working farm as well. So it's very much about having being at one with nature, which represents the courses that are on offer at the campus as well. So those are our three campuses at the university. And as mentioned, if I go back a slide, about getting between campuses, we do offer a free inter-campus bus, which are hopper buses, which you can see an example there, which you can jump on with your student card. So you can just be like, oh, actually, I want to go out to Sutton Bonington to go explore it. Or they have a farmers market the first Wednesday of every month. So yesterday was the farmers market. So lots of our students will go out and go explore and see what it's like. So you can do that on the hopper bus for free as well. And it's always worth noting that then all the hopper buses will connect you up to University Park campus, which is then connected by the tram or by buses directly into the city centre as well. So the University Park campus and Jubilee campuses are about 10 minutes away from the city centre, whereas Sutton Bonington can often be 20, 25 minutes away from the city centre itself. But in terms of what we offer for kind of residents, so halls of residents, there are a few options that are available. So that we do have catered halls, however, they are only available to undergraduate students only. So we have self-catered sites on all of our three campuses. And these range in terms of what they offer, in terms of you may have a shared bathroom, you may have an ensuite, so your own bathroom, but all of them you will have a bit like a hotel corridor. You'll have maybe 6 rooms off one corridor. Then at the end, you will have a shared kitchen and a dining area and kind of a bit of a place to relax. So you have the ability to be in a room, or you can be in the kind of social area as well. And these accommodation options, so this is university accommodation, are open to all of the students who are applying or taking up an offer at the university. But the students also have the ability to stay in private accommodation. So it may be a similar setup in terms of rooms where it's a corridor with 6 rooms off and a shared kitchen slash kind of social area. Or it might be that you go into private rented accommodation. It is a personal choice of what you want to do, but there are options available for both of them. And within those facilities, to give you a sense of what they look like, you will get a bed, you may have a communal bathroom, you may have an ensuite, but you will get a bed, desk, chairs, wardrobe, bookshelves. Internet is always included as part of them as well. And you will have a residential experience team who are available 7 days a week to support you with whatever it may be. So it might be pastoral care, it might be just being a first point of contact, or they may run events or socializing so you can get to know people who are in the same halls or facilities as you as well. In terms of academic entry requirements, I think this is really kind of key to know. So what I've done is just pulled off a little bit of our master's entry requirements for kind of students applying from kind of Columbia or kind of LATAM in general. So master's applicants usually need a 2-1 or an upper second class degree, or some courses will take a lower second class degree. But to give you an idea, on a GPA system out of 5, you'd be looking at around a 4.0 or 80% on a percentage for a 2-1 in terms of what we'd expect for master's or postgraduate kind of studies. So that's just to give you an idea. Obviously, it will change course by course, and there may be subject requirements depending on what you want to go study. But hopefully that just gives you a start of an understanding of what you might need to be able to achieve as part of it. And then PhD program entry, so you will need a strong master's degree in a relevant subject to be considered for a PhD. Normally need a research proposal. So how it differs is you will identify a possible supervisor, so you'll use the website to contact academics who may be potential supervisors, discuss what kind of PhD research area you want to go into, but also kind of see if they will take you on as a supervisor before you apply. So unlike a master's degree where you very much just apply to the university, you have to have the conversations to identify a possible supervisor to start with when it comes to PhD entry requirements as well. And it's really important to know kind of English language entry requirements as well, because these do fit across all of our courses. So usually we will take a combination of different entry requirements for it. So it might be an IELTS, it might be a TOEFL, it might be that you've done a GCSE, or you've done part of IB, you've been to an IB school as well. We can use that as part of your requirements. But it's always important when you're looking at a certain course to find out what those English language requirements are, because they do change. They can range from in IELTS being a 6.0 up to being a 7.5. So do kind of have a look at, when you're looking at potential courses, what you need to do. But we also offer pre-sessional English language courses as well that are online or in person for students who want to further kind of progress their English language kind of understanding as well. So there are also opportunities to do that. I also wanted to pull up a little bit about tuition fees, just how much it costs for a course. So for master's level students doing an MA or an MSc, I can only give you 2024 entry requirement entry tuition fees, because we've not yet had them confirmed for 2025. But as it currently stands, you're ranging between £22,600 to £30,200, depending on the course. We often find our science, our medicine and health sciences, our engineering courses are up towards the higher end because of the running costs for the course, whereas sometimes our law, our kind of arts, our social science courses will be towards the lower end because they don't have the lab work, they don't have the equipment, they don't have that as part of it. So they often come in a little bit cheaper than science and engineering, for example. And your tuition fees, the way it can be paid is it can be paid up into 3 installments across the year. You can pay in less than 3, but it's up to 3 as well. But there is more information on the website which will tell you what the fees are for specific courses, and we'll obviously, as soon as we have the updated kind of figures, we will put them on our website as well. I also wanted to just pull out at the moment another scholarship that we currently offer or have offered in the 2024 entry. I will just note that our scholarships are currently undergoing a review in terms of what they offer and how much they will be awarded. But we did have something called the America's Postgraduate Excellence Awards, which was the sum towards your study. But some courses may have specific scholarships as well, which you may be entitled to depending on criteria. So, for example, like computer science, business school, all have their own requirements. And then if you are a top athlete as well, there are sports scholarships as well that are available depending on the different tiers to help you kind of progress or continue progressing with sports as well as your study at the university as well. But as I mentioned, there's no confirmation for 2025 scholarships just yet. But I did want to give you a little bit of a heads up. And I think it's also really important to touch on life after university as well, and what the university can do to support your progression into employability, because you may be coming to us for a 12-month course, but I guarantee you that 12 months will just fly by in terms of just kind of what happens in a course. So we're all about supporting you as a person and into employability. We have a really, really good careers and employability service. And we are currently second most targeted university by top employers in the UK. So some of you may have seen education fairs before, where lots of different universities or colleges all go in to one big room, and you can go around, you can talk individually to each of the universities that you're interested in. Well, what we do is we do that, but we do it with employers. So we will pull in all of the employers into a big room. They'll all have their own stands, and you're able to go around and talk to and network with employees that you're interested in. So it's all about making sure that you have the ability and the option to be able to integrate yourself with potential employers that you may go into as well. And we really like to do that right from the start. So don't be put off if right at the start of your course people are already talking about, well, let's think about careers, let's think about what we can do to support you, because our team just want to make sure that you are the most prepared you can be when it comes to progression into studying and work post university. And our outstanding career support ranges from kind of one-to-one counselling sessions with advice appointments, or it might be about skills workshops, or how to build a really good CV. So when you're sending it off to different employers, you're making sure that you're selling yourself in the best way possible. Like I mentioned, recruitment fairs. So you're able to go and talk to employers as well. And just giving you the opportunity to not only connect with employers, but also our alumni as well. And also interview preparation as well. So it's not just, okay, here you go, us showing you some opportunities that you may use for work. It's actually making sure that you are building up to be a really outstanding candidate, and that we can offer that support as well. There's quite a few examples. One is which I really like, that our careers team, they help support a student through going into employment and going to interviews, that he was successful and he got 2 job offers. And then what the careers team did is they sat down with him and went through what the kind of what was an offer in each kind of job, and what was in the kind of small print as part of the kind of contract, to work out which one actually he would be best suited for and what he wanted to get. So it's not just, okay, you've got a job, that's the end of the support. The career support at the university is a lifelong support for all of our alumni. So it's not just, okay, you've done, you finished, you've gone, that's you gone. No, we will support you wherever possible afterwards as well. And it's also really important to highlight to you that as a student in the UK, your study visa will allow you to work up to 20 hours per week part-time, kind of doing supplementary, trying to supplement kind of your income and gain work experience before applying for maybe graduate schemes, or maybe you just want to do something to occupy yourself. So we have students who work for us as an international team who talk about their experience of coming to Nottingham or studying in the UK, or being able to highlight what it is like as an international student to travel across the Atlantic to kind of study elsewhere. So there are opportunities for kind of students to get involved as part of it as well. But there's also a big emphasis on student experience at Nottingham. So it's about what can we offer you alongside your studies, alongside kind of academics. So we have a really, really good students' union that offer a really good set of society. So our students' union is run by our students, for our students. So everything is done in the best context for our students, because it's students working for other students as opposed to the university. So the Students' Union itself hosts over 300 student-run clubs, societies, opportunities, including more than 75 sports clubs as well. And the societies cover a whole host of different interests. So it might be a cultural society, it might be a music, it might be a dance society, it might be a board game society, it might be about fashion, it might be about travel, it might be even weird and wacky, such as kettle society, where it's not just sitting and looking at different kettles through the ages, but it's actually just sitting down, having a hot drink and having discussions with people about what's going on in the world, or just kind of having a chance to kind of relax and unwind with people. So it's not just, oh, there are just set things. And what is really great about the Students' Union and the societies that offer is, if there isn't a society that you want to join and you want there to be, you can run it. And you can find a group of people who are also interested, and you can run, set up, and be that society right from the off. So it's very much a students' union that you can be involved with as well. Even including kind of voluntary opportunities and kind of student advice service as well. So, for example, what we have, if your course happened to be 2 years or 3 years long, depending on what kind of course you do, you may go into private accommodation, kind of private rental accommodation, where you have a landlord. Our Students' Union are there, and they will support if it comes down to even looking at the contract for your accommodation that you're going into, to make sure that you fully understand what's in that contract before you sign it. So they're there to support you however you may need it. It's not just kind of superficial. It's very much about being part and making you part of the university. But also, it's key to know that you can be involved as much or as little as you want. It may be something you want to throw yourself into. It might be something that you just want to be part of one thing that you do every now and then because you want to focus on other things as well. That's absolutely fine. But the opportunities are there for you. And sports, which I've touched on before ever so slightly, is a big part of who we are. So we are Sports University of the Year for 2024 as well. We are the only university to have won it 3 times. So we have a competition between all of the universities in the UK, which is called BUCS, the British University and College of Sport. So over a year, we compete against each other in a whole raft of different sports, very much like the Olympics. And in terms of our standing, we are currently number 2. We are usually number 2 or number 3 in terms of that. So out of all of the universities in the UK, the hundreds of universities in the UK, we are usually top 3 in terms of that. And you have the ability to compete for the university depending on your standard of in the sport that you're interested in. We often have something called the Tri-Campus Games. So we have a campus in China. You also have a campus in Malaysia. So what we'll do is we will compete against those 2 campuses in various different sports, and we call that our Tri-Campus Games. We have our Nottingham Varsity, which is where we take on Nottingham Trent University as our rivals in certain sports. One of which is the ice hockey, which is one of the biggest ice hockey matches outside of the US. Because it's really followed within Nottingham. And you can also just play for leisure. So you might find that if you're in engineering as a course, your engineering course might take on the medicine society. So you'll compete competitively within the university, or you can just play for fun as part of a Wednesday afternoon, or just an evening or an afternoon. Just throw yourselves into new things. You might have seen the speed climbing that's going on in the Olympics and thought, hey, I'd love to have a go at that. You can have a go at that. As you can see on the picture, we have that at the university. So you can throw yourselves into new elements and new sports as well, because our David Ross Sports Village is very much a big part of the student experience, with a swimming pool, climbing wall, 200 station fitness suite, martial arts dojo, an all-glass squash court, outdoor pitches, and there's a high performance zone for our elite athletes as well. So there's so much that you can throw yourselves into and just try as well. So I'm going to start bringing this to a close. I'm aware you've probably had enough of me talking for about 35 minutes now. But if there is any more information that you want to know, I have put a link for kind of Columbia specific information. So usually how I find this is University of Nottingham, Columbia. And what you can do, it brings up a lot of information about entry requirements. It brings up contact details, which will have a lovely picture of me and my contact details on there that you can reach out directly to me. It will also talk about potential scholarships. So if there is more that you wanted to look at, you can kind of go more in depth, and we will update as soon as possible. Has information about visa, what the societies are like. So please do have a look at that as well. And I think it's also really key to highlight where you can start looking for courses that you may be interested in, what we offer as well. So on nottingham.ac.uk/study with us, you'll get an A to Z of our course search. So you can do this by a taught course or a research course if you're looking for a PhD. And you can search by subject area, or you can just have a look at all of them if you want to really have a look at maybe what you want to study, what we have to offer as well. And also just some key contacts that you may want to, if you want to know any more information about. So we've got the international office, which is our team who deal directly with international inquiries. You can also come directly to me. I'm happy to share my email as well. Also, we've got accommodation advice if you want to learn more about accommodation or more about visa and immigration, about what the kind of steps are you might need to do. There's more contacts available there for you. But I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Do put anything in the chat that you may have question-wise, or anything you might want me to go over. Absolutely feel free. I don't have an issue with that. But thank you for listening. I hope that's okay. And I'll throw to Simon to see if we've got any questions or if you managed to answer them.
Thank you, Will. We've had a couple of questions in, which is good, which I'll go through now. So I thought it'd be useful with some of the questions to speak to the room. Some are more about actual individual applications, so might not to go into too much detail. But the first one from Maria. Maria has applied and been accepted to start this year, but is looking to defer the offer and planning to take an English course at the university. So I presume Sealy, Centre for English Language Education. Is this possible to replace the IELTS test? So I'm happy to pick up if you, unless you
do you want to go, Simon? You go.
So Maria, this might be dependent on your individual offer and the conditions that have been placed on your offer by the admissions team. So any email communications you've had with the team about that might be useful to refer to, just to double check that the English lessons that you're going to be taking at the university will be sufficient to get onto your course. That is what those English lessons are there for, the pre-session or English tests. They are designed to develop your English skills so that you're ready to then progress onto your course at the university. So that is what they're generally there for. But if you want to double check, I'd make sure to go back to the admissions team who have been dealing with your case and just double check that is sufficient. Alternatively, Will or I will be able to help. So if you get in touch with us directly, then we can certainly look into that for you in more detail. Maria also asks, for the deferral, do I need to pay CAS and course deposits, or can I only pay one of them? So, Will, you hesitate? I'm happy to take that unless you've got anything.
So normally you pay both of them. So it depends on what your course deposit is. So if you've got normally your CAS deposit is your course deposit as well, unless it is a business course where it usually has an additional cost as well. So that usually has to be paid to be able to make the deferral as well, because you'll be able to get to that point. However, again, check the conditions of your offer. If there are any specific queries, feel free to reach out to, it can be myself, Simon, it can be the admissions team themselves, and they will definitely clarify what you need to do and what the process is. But I'm happy to share more experiences of how you go about doing that and who you need to contact, because we are getting around to deferral time at the university, because it doesn't open, it's not open all year. We only accept deferrals in a certain part of the year, which is just about to come up as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. So the final question from Maria, who has been had an application for and is looking to come on to one of our architecture courses, Architecture and Sustainable Design, around the facilities in the school. So if architecture students are able to work in their study area. So I presume this is around the studio space that is on the architecture course itself.
Yes. So yeah, as long as there will always be a caveat or kind of an area of being able to kind of, if there's a class in the area that you need to be in, obviously that will take priority, but there were often scheduling kind of sections around kind of being able to access kind of the required equipment that you might need to do, or the study areas within architecture as well. So yes, there is the ability to be able to do that. It might just have to work around when there is teaching going on within there. But yes, we try and encourage our students to be involved as much as possible with the with their kind of area of study in general.
Thank you very much. Catherine, thank you for your question. Catherine asks what the master's degrees that the university offers. I think we've sort of touched on that broadly across the presentation, but Will, I don't know if you've got any.
Yes, it's very much. I can't sit here and name them all. One, because I don't know them all, because there are hundreds that we offer, but it's very much depending on what area you're interested in. So with a master's degree, we often find at the university it is more specialized. So it won't just necessarily be a master's in mechanical engineering. It will be something specific within mechanical engineering. So it's not it's not just an overall master's. It tends to be more specific. So we sometimes look at more masters in like oncology, which we don't offer at the bachelor's degree level. We would look more at kind of you'd look more at like microbiology or kind of biology in general before going on to an oncology kind of course, or something like that. So they are broad. What I would say is, and I will pop it back on the slides if I can. No, I just seem to have closed it down, so I will stop sharing. But go onto our course search, have a look, find out what you're interested in doing and what you kind of want to do, and we will you'll be able to explore more in terms of the subject area that you're interested in. So yeah, just research through the university, because it will range depending on the course that you're interested in.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Nicholas, thank you for your questions. So Nicholas asks, what is the monthly cost of living in Nottingham?
Okay, so monthly cost of kind of living in Nottingham. So in terms of a university or as a city, we are very much kind of on the average what it is like to be in the UK. So our weekly costs for student accommodation usually range between £130 up to £250 per week, depending on the level of accommodation that you have. It is usually approximately £133 a week to be in the private sector, but it very much varies on your lifestyle as well. You will always, it can often be around £11,000. We often sometimes tell students £12,000 to budget for as part of their study, and kind of while they're being with us. But obviously this fluctuates depending on the type of accommodation you go into, your lifestyle as well. If you want to join the skydiving society, there'll be more costs that come with joining that society, so therefore it will cost more. But it is usually around £11,000 per year is what we say.
Thank you, Will. And just in addition to that, I've posted into the chat for everyone just a bit more information on living costs in Nottingham that's on our website. So that's got some sort of top key things that you're going to have to consider when you live in Nottingham, but that's just got some top line information there. Maria has asked, I think this is to do with the English language studies as well. So would it be possible to start the English program on in April online and continue immediately with my master's degree? I think this is related to visa issues or visa considerations with the course itself. So I'm happy to take this.
Yeah,
so,
go on, you go, Simon.
So Maria, I think this would depend on, in terms of when you start the course and the length of the course, this would depend on the IELTS score that you've currently achieved. So again, without knowing the full details of the conditions of your offer, I would encourage you to talk to the Centre for English Language Education, whom I would presume that you are looking to do these courses with. Because you're right, there is an online option for you to study, but it would depend on the IELTS score that you've already got, your English language capability currently, and combining that with the conditions of your offer to study the architecture course that you're looking to join. With that information, if you've got that in hand and you're able to send that through, then we'll be able to sort of give you the options and give you a bit more information about the next steps around whether to study online or whether to study in person and the visa implications of that. Because the website, the Centre for English Language Education website also has a bit more information on the visas there. So sometimes, depending on when you're studying and what you're studying, you might look for a joint CAS. So that enables you to study your English language and then your course directly afterwards. But that's would be a case-by-case basis, depending on the course you've chosen. So yeah, if you've got that information and are able to send it through to us or a relevant team, then please do. We'll be able to give you a bit more information then. So Catherine, I think we answered your question around the master's studies at the university already, but thank you for that. Catherine, I'm interested in advertising. So master's courses in advertising.
Yes, so for master's courses, we have one that is focused more around marketing itself. So that would probably be the most closely aligned to what you'd be looking at. And this is within our business school. So it's very much kind of focusing, as I mentioned, with the master's compared to the bachelor's, it is more focused on a specific area. So we don't have an undergraduate degree in marketing, but we do at master's level because it's more focused and more specific around there. So we do a marketing MSc, which might be a better setup. But to give you a sense of kind of why it's really good to do your research is I've just done a little bit of a search, and at the university, postgraduate courses, not taking into account PhDs, we have 298 different courses. So there's lots of options, lots of things available for you. So that's why it's really key to look at specifically what you want to do as part of it, and kind of look at what options. There might be taster lectures, there might be videos about certain courses that you can get, can have a look at more depth in, but definitely do your research around it, what the kind of university has to offer. And if not, reach out, ask questions. On the website, there's lots of tools to be able to get in touch, and we can give you more information about specific courses. But it's all about basing it on the research that you do in the first place around what you want to study, is what I would say. But yes, MSc in marketing is very much available to cover advertising.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think that's the end of our questions that I can see. Karen, am I correct?
Yes, Simon and William, thank you very, very much for your participation, for all the information presented, for your time and support. Everything you mentioned today sounds so, so good. And I think that this destination looks so interesting indeed. So we look forward to seeing in a next opportunity. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Super, thank you.
Thank you very
A
much.
todos los asistentes, muchas gracias por sus preguntas, por su interés. Sé que la información que se presentó el día de hoy fue de gran utilidad. Así que no duden en seguir indagando acerca de University of Nottingham y también pues claramente de COLFUTURO. Sé que William y Simon van a enviar la presentación y alguna información adicional a lo largo de esta semana y de estos días, así que se las haremos llegar a todos ustedes. Muchas gracias por su asistencia.